Hey guys, it's Siggy and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. So I honestly wasn't going to film this video, but I figured let's do it. As you guys already saw from the title, this is something that I have been living with for quite a while. I want to honestly say that when I first started feeling that something was the matter with me was when I was 25 years old. I will never forget, I was working in radio and I was working at this huge concert, and I had to interview a couple of celebrities before they went on stage to perform, and I got this cold sensation kind of feeling, and I was like, whoa, it's probably the champagne. And I left it alone, but then I felt weird and I just felt like I just couldn't function. I felt like I couldn't communicate. I felt weird. I didn't feel the same. I didn't feel right. But I left it alone and I went on with the day, and after that it will, sometimes I will get that feeling again. But I blamed it on just working crazy hours, just being busy all the time, going out, partying, the nightlife, the issues with the men I was dating or whatever. It was just a whole bunch of stuff, and I never really read into what anxiety was and how it affects you and how many people go through it and are dealing with it today. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't at all. I was just like, nah. And back then you couldn't really Google anything. You couldn't really, Google and be like, I feel this way. What could that be? Or this is how I woke up and this is how I feel. What does it mean? So as years pass, again, I left it alone. I moved on with my life. I began to get it more, and it all really started happening in 2011, 2013. That's when shit hit the fan. I began getting these anxiety attacks and I didn't know how to handle them. And of course, because I didn't know what it was, I would get panic attacks. And now I really thought I was dying. Now everything seemed like it was the end. You have no idea how many times I rushed to the hospital because I thought I was having, heart complications and I was gonna have a heart attack and die. I even thought that I had a brain tumor, and that even caused more of a panic attack. And my entire life began to work around anxiety. So here's Siggy and here's anxiety. When anxiety will come and take over me, forget about it. I did not want to come out of my house. I didn't want to do anything. I was just so overwhelmed. People get different forms of anxiety because it's different for everyone. For me, it began with me being scared to admit that there might be something the matter with me, and I would just want to stay inside my house. But check this out. I will stay inside my house and work out. I'll start painting. I would, just sketch in the middle of the night. I just couldn't go to sleep. I would pace back and forth. I would open up a bottle of wine and start drinking it, or make myself a martini, or go outside in my balcony and smoke a cigarette because I figured that would maybe calm me down. Why? You know what I mean? what was going on. I just didn't understand. I just know that I didn't like how I felt. So what I started doing was just going to the gym, because I would notice that as soon as I would get these anxiety attacks, if I hit the gym and I was working out like a crazy person, it would kind of make it go away, you know? And I finally, you know, told myself that I needed help. I needed to speak to someone and talk to them about what I was going through. So I visited my doctor, and my doctor recommended for me to see, you know, a counselor. And I met with the counselor. I will meet with the counselor once a week, and he prescribed medication, as well as my doctor did. And I did not like the way that medication was making me feel. I didn't like how it was taking control of my body, how it would not let me focus, how I was like a freaking zombie. And if you know me in real life, you know that I've always been a social butterfly. You know that I've always been such a happy person. I am the type of friend that you will always feel comfortable to speak to me, because I will always make sure that I do my best to help you out in your issues, and will always bring a smile to your face. I will always make you feel welcome and loved. And all that positive energy that I was so used to giving and I love doing for others, I began to notice that it started pretty much draining me. And a lot of negative people were surrounding me, and the more I helped them, the more I guided them, the more energy that was being sucked out of me, and the more anxiety it was bringing me. This also included those jobs. I was out there, you know, working movie premieres or concerts, or I was so exhausted. I started noticing that I am not this extrovert that I always thought I was. I noticed that as soon as I would come home to my apartment at the time, I would close the door and I would just be happy in there alone. And I started noticing that that will help me kind of focus again and try to, you know, it will help me just try to just breathe again, so I can just tell myself it's gonna be okay. It was overwhelming. It honestly was very overwhelming. So what I began doing that really helped me out was I began doing yoga. And I felt that doing yoga helped me out so much with relieving tension, and just took me into another world. It was just kind of me being there and just using every bone in my body to kind of just release all this negative energy and all this tension that is just held inside. And it felt so good. And I began to change my lifestyle. Everything that was poisoning me and everything that was just taking all of my positive energy, I decided that I needed to make that change and subtract individuals out of my life that were affecting me, or just certain events that were definitely causing me to have anxiety. And I also started, you know, meditating. It started with 5 minutes to 10, and now I can honestly say I can sit here and just close my eyes 25 to 30 minutes and just be in complete silence, and just taking in deep breaths, and just try to concentrate in positive and in good, and in me, in my health, and in the beauty of how everything was before I started having anxiety issues and panic attacks. And if you deal with anxiety, you know it's horrible. You know it's a horrible feeling. It's just unsettling. That's the word. It's very unsettling, because you just don't know what you want to do. You know, some people have anxiety, they want to lock themselves and never come out. Some people have anxiety and they want to run an entire marathon. You know, I was kind of in between. And I wanted it not to affect me anymore, you know? I am a person that is happy. I've always been happy. I love being around people and hosting, you know, gatherings and all that. But if I had to kind of take a break from it, then I was going to, so I could become better, you know? And basically, I feel like it's working, you know? And it's different for everybody. And honestly, for me, I feel like the yoga, the meditation, the working out, the spending time by myself, being here in my own house and just kind of relaxing and baking and watching a good movie and stuff like that, it helps me out so much. And today marks 1 full month of not having anxiety. 1 full month, guys. And it's amazing, but it's all work in progress. And I definitely want to be able to one day say, hey, I don't have anxiety anymore, and I'm just hyper because I am, you know? But I figured that I will get on here really quickly and just share this with you guys, and basically just let you know that we all have our ups and downs. We all deal with our own issues, our own problems. We all have something, you know? Life is not perfect. We're not perfect. Everything we see out there, trust me, everyone has some form of issue. It's just nobody chooses to speak about them and talk about them. And honestly, I felt like I want to talk about it. And I hope this video helped. If you deal with anxiety, I would love to hear from you below. Let me know what you do to help you out. If you do take medication, if not, what did you substitute it with? As I mentioned, I ended up substituting it with yoga and meditating and jogging and painting and baking. And of course, family, because they have definitely helped me out so much to where I am today. Anyways, I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys next time. Love you. Bye.